Hi everyone, good morning everyone. Our lesson for today is the cultural and environmental impact of tourism and hospitality. And our objective for today is identifying the positive cultural and environmental effects of tourism and hospitality. Second, identifying the negative cultural and environmental effects of tourism and hospitality. Tourism and hospitality increases the acculturation and the cultural convergence of people. The urban areas of the world are becoming more and more alike. Modernization changed from agricultural society to an industrial one, bring about change in the people's attitudes, beliefs, and way of life. Part of this change occurs through contacts with tourists. Tourism and hospitality is a vital force in acculturation because it causes more interactions between people. The positive cultural effects of tourism and hospitality. First, intercultural communication. Mobility is a requirement of tourism and hospitality and is needed for different social groups, nationalities, and cultural to meet and interact. These interactions can contribute to the removal of social or national preconceptions and the promotion of better understanding and positive social change. Example of intercultural communication. First, if a Christian converses with a Muslim. Second, if a woman receives an order from a man. Third, if an American and African share their views. Fourth, if a Chinese politician discussions with an American leader. Renaissance of native culture. Tourism and hospitality may be important to the host country to remind people of its history and culture. To Eastern and Western Europe, many traditional folk customs and costumes are preserved for the benefits of tourists. Folk culture festivals are organized to attract visitors. Model cultural centers in both developed and developing countries have been highly profitable and have helped maintain interest in their culture. Traditional arts forms have been revived in several countries. Tourism and hospitality has stimulated the preservation of traditional art, including traditional songs and dance. The establishments of model cultural village, living museum has contributed largely to the renaissance of native traditions and craft. Model culture village created awareness of the local area. These villages provide locations where visitors may observe and participate in the particular culture. Nations also portrays the history of the area. An example of the cultural model village is the Polynesian Cultural Center in Hawaii, which was designed to keep the traditional art forms and practice alive, giving the visitors a chance to view some limited historical aspect of lifestyle as it once was. As a cultural living or museum, the center concentrates on the certain dynamic and tangible aspect of a culture. In order to make visit meaningful, each of the village develop a specific activity such as husking a coconut, learning to play a percussion instrument, involvement in a game of skills, or performing a dance that is the positive environmental effects of tourism and hospitality. First, environmental awareness. Tourism and hospitality has created environmental awareness in two ways. Contact with scenic areas has raised man's awareness of the earth's beauty and made it easier for him to see and enjoy it with minimum damage. And environmental awareness has been highlighted by mass tourism, which called direct and indirect distraction. In the developed countries, several national parks and monuments have been created and preserve the natural, cultural, and recreational resources of the land of the enjoyment. appreciation and education of present and future generation. The development of parks was intended to open up areas for viewing as well as to control the flow of traffic within the park. What is environmental awareness? Environmental awareness is to understand the fragility of our environment and the importance of its protection. Promoting environmental awareness is an easy way to become an environmental steward and participate in creating a brighter future for everyone. Some examples of environmental awareness. First, homes. We already cited a few examples of environmental awareness inside our homes or outside our homes. Second, conserving energy and water. Third, purchases, recycling, and activism. Fourth, industrial revolution. Conservation and preservation of the environment not only benefit the local area but determine the future of tourism and hospitality. The local residents benefit from the preservation and the tourism and hospitality industry, as long as it draws the tourists, will continue to become socio-economic and cultural assets. In some places, bird sanctuary is one major attraction for tourists who want to seek a change from their sun. Sea and sands experience natural trails and bird watching areas have been established to help the visitors enjoy the area and to maintain the quality of the environment. Generally, tourism and hospitality provides incentives for the conservation and preservation of natural and historic sites. Many monuments, historic houses, villages, and old churches cannot be maintained without tourist income. Development of attractions. A lot of nations around the world are identifying areas which have the potential to attract tourists. In the Caribbean island of St. Croix, the U.S. National Park Service has established and developed as Underwater National Park. This unique site attracts snorkelers and those interested in corals. It helps preserve the areas and creates an awareness of the characters of the coral reefs and the seafloors. High mountain areas have been developed as well. One example is the Jungfrau in Switzerland, which boasts of having the highest rollway in Europe. Another examples would be the Banawi Rice Terrace in even Baguio City in the Philippines.
So now, let's proceed to negative cultural aspects of tourism and hospitality. First, we have destruction of country's work of art. Well, tourism and hospitality has enabled different people to restore the maintained interest in their own culture. It also leads to the destruction of its work of art. The local residents resent tourism who think they have the right to the country's art, whether bought or stolen. Several tourists persuade the natives to sell traditional objects which have been used for generations. The greed for money which induced people to part with family heirlooms explain the destruction of archaeological sites or the desecration of monuments in Egypt, Bali, India, or Central America. So second, we have loss of culture. Even the model cultural villages may be encouraging the loss of culture. This is because tourists who want to keep up with their schedules and entertainment require shorter, thus less authentic and activities. The entertainment losses its cultural value. Even large hotel giving floor shows may manipulate authentic host tradition and events to conform to the time schedules and the taste of tourists. And now, let's topic the negative environmental effect of tourism and hospitality. Going beyond the carry capacity and saturation level of an area will negatively affect its environment. The term carrying capacity is the degree of developing a certain area can take without having detrimental effect on the environment. If the tourism developing becomes saturated, the very attraction which draw visitors to a place may be destroyed, causing the decline in quality and popularity of a certain tourist destination. And now, let's talk about environmental conflicts. Some of the problems affecting the quality of the environment are destruction of the vegetation, pollution, air, water, and noise, and the destruction of wildlife. The destruction of the vegetation occurs because of the large number of tourists who trample on the vegetation. In many parks, campers have cut branches of many trees and even completely cut down small trees. In areas such as ocean, fronts, and islands, many visitors going to the from the area destroy the vegetation cover, thus changing the natural habitats for birds and animals, and in some cases, even changing the temperature of the area. Sometimes, the loss of vegetation leads to soil erosion and the further debasement of the environment. And second, we have geological conflict. Tourism and hospitality affects geological formation. Some tourism collects mineral, rocks, fossils, and corals from tourism attraction. Others, they destroy natural formation by vandalizing residents' conflict. Some conflicts happen between residents and tourists or tourism developers. In cities, hotels are built at the expense of residential accommodation. The increasing value of land often forces residents to move away from the area. Hotel development also brings traffic congestion and air pollution. In fishing and hunting areas, the increasing demand creates problems for local fishermen and hunters who now compete with the tourists as well as each other. Problems between tourists and local residents may also arise because of damage to the area brought about littering, vandalism, and traffic congestion. In rural areas, the damage to crops, farm buildings, and livestock are common complaints of farmers, together with the increasing value of lands, competition for labor, and land erosion.